This video will guide you through 8 steps needed to create an effective prenuptial agreement. Drafting prenuptial agreements is a widely requested project on Contracts Council's platform since prenups have become increasingly popular. If you are planning to get a prenup for an approaching marriage, this video is for you. We will cover 1. Who should consider getting a prenup? 2. Key terms to include in your agreement. 3. The 8 steps to follow to write an effective prenuptial agreement. Now, let's get started. Who should get a prenup? A prenuptial agreement is a legal contract entered into by a couple before getting married. It outlines how assets and finances will be handled during the marriage and in the event of a divorce. Deciding whether to get a prenup is a personal choice and depends on the circumstances of each couple. Here are some considerations for deciding whether or not you need a prenup. 1. Significant assets or debts. If an individual in a relationship has significant assets, such as real estate, investments, or savings, they may benefit from a prenup. Similarly, if an individual has significant debt, a prenup can clarify who is responsible for that debt in the event of a divorce. 2. Second marriage. For individuals who have been married before, a prenup can help protect financial interests of children from previous relationships. 3. Income differences. If there is a large difference in income or earnings potential, a prenup can address how finances will be managed and assets divided in the event of a divorce. 4. Business owners. A prenup can safeguard a business from any complications created by a divorce by outlining what happens to the business ownership and assets. 5. Inheritance issues. If individuals expect to receive a large inheritance, a prenup can be used to make sure the inheritance is separated properly. What to include in prenuptial agreements? Prenups use many of the same terms. Here are some common clauses you will find. 1. Definition of separate and marital property. This section defines what is considered separate property, or property owned by the individuals, and marital property, or property owned jointly. 2. Dividing property upon divorce. This section details how property will be divided in the event of a divorce. This can include real estate, investments, retirement accounts, and other assets. 3. Spousal support. This section outlines if one party will be obligated to provide financial support to the other party in the event of a divorce. 4. Debt liability. This section details how debt acquired before and during the marriage will be handled in the event of a divorce, including who is responsible for making debt-related payments. 5. Joint expenses and bank accounts. This section outlines how everyday expenses and bank accounts will be managed during the marriage. 6. Business ownership. If one or both parties owns a business, this section outlines how the business will be valued and divided in the event of a divorce. 7. Inheritance. This section outlines how inheritance will be treated. 8. Financial disclosures. These are where both parties fully disclose their financial situation, including assets, debts, income, and potential inheritance. Note, these may be separate documents attached to the prenup. 9. Sunset clause. This optional section states that the agreement will expire after a certain period or under certain circumstances. 10. Dispute resolution. This section outlines the procedure in which the parties will resolve any disputes about the agreement. 8 steps to writing a prenuptial agreement. Here is a list of 8 steps you can follow to draft a prenuptial agreement. 1. Review commonly used clauses. Review the commonly used clauses discussed earlier in this video or find a template online to use as a reference. Then, determine what you want to include in your agreement. 2. Identify key marriage information. Next, identify the key information you want to include. This may include details about inheritance, assets, debts, and other details. 3. Use clear language. When writing a legal agreement, It is critical to use clear and concise language that all parties understand. Avoid using complex legal language or technical terms. 4. Organize content. Once you've written your clauses, organize them so that they are logical. For example, you likely want to have your definition of separate and marital property come before your dispute resolution clause. 5. Include applicable laws. Be sure to incorporate any applicable state laws that may be required in your jurisdiction. Note, this may require doing some research. 6. Consider seeking legal advice. If you are unsure about anything, consider using Contracts Counsel's platform to seek advice from an experienced family lawyer. 7. Review and revise. Once you've drafted your clauses, review and revise them to make the language clearer and confirm you have included everything needed. 8. Make available. Create a standalone document you can distribute to your partner for signature. In conclusion, writing a prenuptial agreement is a great way to protect yourselves when getting married. It is always our recommendation to seek legal advice since these agreements are complicated. If you need help from an experienced lawyer, feel free to visit www.contractscounsel.com and post a job to get quotes from lawyers to help you. Thanks for watching.